carbon copies. A good example is at Nyamira DEB Primary School 1 of 1. The certified copy of Form 37A displayed by the IEBC at page 159 of the response is too faint and illegible. The copy attached by the petitioner to the amended petition is equally indecipherable. One cannot clearly see the candidate's results or the signatures of the agents or presiding officers. The same is also true of the form annexed by his witness, Wesley Kerina, PW9. Furthermore, at Motagala, DEB polling station 2 of 2, there were two conflicting Forms 37A. In one, Nyambati had 88 votes, but only one vote in the other. From the scrutiny report and recount, the petitioner was correct that Nyaribo obtained 88 votes and not one vote as indicated in IBC's Form 37A. But at the same station, the first respondent garnered 122 votes, not 88, as indicated in the Form 37A. From those few examples, the disputants were not entirely forthright about the true entries. It is a classic case of the pan calling of the kettle, of the pan calling of the pot calling the kettle black. It is thus important to interrogate the source of the Forms 37A displayed by the petition. The petitioner said he received the forms in hard copies and others electronically. One of his witnesses, Elvis Kibeni, PW10, said he got his forms in hard copies while others were received via WhatsApp messages. The respondent's witness, Mother Ogeni, DW7, who was the presiding officer at Mungeni Youth Polytechnic, polling station 204, allowed agents to take photographs of the Form 37A. Her version was supported by Susan Gary, DW4, who was the presiding officer at Kiavonyuru Primary School, polling station 1 of 2 in Borab. I thus find that the quality of the images could be affected by the type of camera or cell phone used by the agents, lighting, angle, and so forth. DW7, like I've said, admitted that the official Form 37A corresponds with the copy annexed by the petitioner. In short, it would be incorrect to condemn all the forms by the petitioner as unauthentic. The IBC also complained that the petitioner was selective on the quality of Forms 37A that he annexed. For instance, Subora Buko, DW2, claimed that where the petitioner alleged disparities, his forms were blurred, illegible, or with poor lighting. But in the images of forms in which he alleges alterations by IEBC, they were somehow taken in better lighting. I find that the allegation is not entirely true because, with respect to Forms 37A attached to affidavits of PW4 and PW5, who complained of disparities in the Forms 37A and 37C, the forms are clear and legible. I'll now turn to alterations, cancellations, or overwriting. According to DW1, if there are errors in entering data from Form 37A, the presiding officer can amend it by crossing, countersigning, stamping, or make such other corrections. Where there is an allegation that a wrong form was used, the petitioner claimed that at Makailo polling station 2 of 2, The presiding officer used the form 37A for stream 1 of 2. In his view, IEBC's witness, Sylvia, has its results signed off by agents and presiding officers in the respective stream. 2 of those agents were in fact from the UDA party. The 2 forms also have different serial numbers, and I've set out the 2 serial numbers as GB085686 and GB085870. That the results of one stream were unaccounted for is thus untrue. The petitioner submitted that IEBC failed to supply the original forms 37A for Ikove, Tea Buying Center 1 of 1, and Nyamira DEB Polling Station 1 of 1. The report by the Deputy Registrar states that the IEBC did not supply the form for Ikove, TBC 1 of 1. The truth, however, is that a certified copy for Ikove, TBC 1 of 1, was filed by IEBC in court on 7th November 2022. It has only one alteration in the last digit 7 in the score of Nyaribo of 237 votes. Nyabati got 94 votes there. The form is signed by the presiding officer, his deputy and 3 agents from Kano and ODM. The results tally with those in Form 37B for West Mugirango. I thus find nothing untoward in it. Furthermore, the complaint at Ikove, TBC 1 of 1, appears at paragraph 134 of the amended petition as one of the 64 polling stations in West Mugirango that did not have agents. At paragraph 139, the petitioner pleaded that Form 37A was altered in the results for Nyaribo. Like I have stated in the preceding paragraph, there were 3 agents there. I would, however, grant it to the petitioner that none was from Nyabati's party, UDA. I've also found that there was only one minor alteration of the last digit in Nyaribo's votes. However, at Nyamira DEB Primary School 1 of 1, the certified copy of Form 37A displayed by the IEBC at page 159 of the response is too faint and illegible. The copy attached by the petitioner to the annexed, I'll read that again. The copy attached by the petitioner to the amended petition is equally unreadable. One cannot clearly see the candidate's results or the signatures of the agents or presiding officers. Noting the centrality of Form 37A in elections, I ordered partial scrutiny at Nyamira, limited to a recount of the votes. The report by the Deputy Registrar established that the first respondent had votes, while Nyabati garnered 208 votes. The Deputy Registrar could not also make a comparison with 437A from IBC because, like I stated, it was illegible. But the recount left no doubt about the numbers. A true complaint by the petitioner can then only be that Nyabati was denied 60 votes in Form 37C, which gives him 220 votes. I'll discuss about the errors in transfer of data from Forms 37A into 37C and the effect on the outcome of the reports. The petitioner submitted that at Motagara, DEB Polling Station 2 of 2, the Form 37A was, and I quote, clearly incongruent with other forms annexed, unquote, to the above. The petitioner also claimed that agents were given differing copies of Forms 37A. In one of the Form 37A there, Nyabati had 88 votes, but only 1 vote in the other. I ordered partial scrutiny there, which supported the petitioner's case that Nyaribo obtained 88 votes and not 1 vote as indicated in Form 37A. That allegation is accordingly proved to the required standard. I must, however, add that the scrutiny also revealed that the first respondent was denied 34 votes at that polling station. His score was 122 and not 88, as indicated in Form 37A.
That's something.
Some candidates, such as Momanyi, had been unfairly added 82 votes. Moseti, 4. Adokioma, 18. In short, I cannot say that the discrepancies there only affected Nyabat. The petitioner singled out 8 votes with multiple alterations in the entries for the voter candidates, the total number of valid votes, the registered voters, or rejected ballots. The disputed results in North Mogirango Constitution are highlighted at paragraphs 22 to 62 of his affidavit. Those for West Mogirango at paragraph 63 to 102, Kitutu Masava at paragraphs 103 to 116, and from Borabu constituency at paragraphs 113 to 123. I referred earlier in this decision to a table containing his analysis. Examples can also be found at Tinga, DOK Primary School 3 of 3, whose alteration is stamped, Nyairanga Primary School 2 of 2, and Motagara DB Primary School 2 of 2, which I have dealt with just a few minutes ago in paragraphs 198 and 199 of this judgment. I will analyze the issues at Nyairanga Primary School 2 of 2 further below. One of the weaknesses in the petitioner's case is that a number of his prospective witnesses who made extensive complaints about the results in Forms 37A did not take to the stand. They included Yapesh Mukuantabo, Chief Agent for Borabu, Abednego Saisi, Constituency Manager for North Mogirango, Doris Magona Nyamanga, a Chief Agent for West Mogirango. Their affidavits were consequently not high number. 3 rejected ballots at Nyankova, polling station 1, and 34 rejected ballots at Nyabigege, DOK Primary School, polling station 1 of 2. I ordered there Suamoto for a recount and examination of the entries in Forms 37A, and from the scrutiny report, the ballot box for Nyankova was intact. The recount there showed that 48 ballots that had been marked rejected were actually valid. Candidate Bozire gained an addition of 27 votes from that pile, Nyambati 11 and Nyaribo 4. The ballot box for Nyabigege, DOK Primary School, polling station 1 of 2, was equally intact. Of the votes condemned as spoiled, 33 turned out to have been valid. Nyambati gained an extra 12 and Nyaribo 1 from that batch. The obvious inference to be drawn here is that the petitioner, as well as other candidates, were affected by the erroneous decisions of the presiding officers. The 2 candidates praised by those actions were Bosire and Nyabat. It is important to keep in mind that the results at the polling station are final, and I've referred at length to IBC versus Minor KI and 5 others, where the learned judges of the Court of Appeal delivered that the polling station is the true locus for the free exercise of the voters' will. The counting of the votes was elaborately set out in the Act and the regulations, with its open, transparent, and participatory character. Using the ballot as the primary material means, as it emerged, that the count there is clothed with a finality not to be to any risk of erosion or subversion. It sounds ill that a contrary argument that is so anathema and antithetical to integrity and accuracy should fall from the appellant's mouth, unquote. The significance of the above precedent is that the primary and most important declaratory form is 37A. The Forms 37B and Form 37C series of forms are spreadsheets merely transferring and consolidating the scores in Forms 37A. I must add that the polling station affords an aggrieved candidate or agent additional safeguards. For instance, such a candidate or agent who is present has the right to a recount. And this is clear in Regulation 80 of the Elections General Regulations 2012, and I have set them out in detail. First and foremost, the petitioner or Nyambati's agents failed to take advantage of this right, except for one request at Nyairanga, referred by Antme Milanyi, PW11. He testified that the request for a recount was declined. It was not clear when or who made the request and why it was denied. As I have indicated, Regulation 80 only applies to a candidate or agent who is present at the count. PW11 conceded in cross-examination that was not there during the counting of the votes. Upon further cross-examination, he admitted that the UDA party had an agent at Nyairanga, but he was, and I quote, harassed, unquote. The witness could not recall the name of the agent, but he said, and I quote, he was a presidential UDA agent. I thus find that this claim was unproven. Excuse me. I also find that some of the alterations or changes in Forms 37A affected candidate results. I took those seriously, and I'll make specific comments on a number of those forms. However, others were mathematical errors in totaling the numbers of votes cast for candidates or the total number of voters who turned out to vote or the valid votes cast. Generally speaking, the summation, all arithmetical errors did not affect the votes for each candidate. A few examples will suffice for my analysis. DW7, the presiding officer at Mogeni Youth Polytechnic Polling Station 2 of 4, confirmed that the Form 37A displayed by IEBC was similar to the one produced by the petition. I find that it did not have any alterations in the results of the candidates. However, the last digit was corrected in the figure of 448 for the total number of voters. She denied the allegations by the petitioner that there was a variance between the votes cast and those entered in 37C.